Good morning. Happy Pride. Happy Pride to you too. Welcome both here in the sanctuary and online to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg. We're on the unceded ancestral lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole Native people. My name is Atherton-Zeman, and I'm the minister here. Our worship service this morning is entitled Finding Joy, Awe, and Delight. It's the second in our June theme of delight. You might be noticing Aaron is not here. Aaron's out of town. Todd, who often substitutes for Aaron, also out of town. John and James, out of town. Janae Johnson, also on vacation. I'm very happy the greeters are here. Thank you, greeters. I'm happy Robert's here on AV. Our groundskeeper, Ed Miller, is here and he and I dressed the same this morning, so that's kind of cool. Cheyenne is here, Lisa is here, and I'm excited to be joined by today's worship associate. Bianca Hatten is here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Ben, and good morning to you and visitors. If you want a church that finds joy in the heart of darkness, I have good news. You may have found your church home. We have two announcements today. Following today's worship service, please return to the sanctuary for education and discussion about the proposed Article 2 changes. This discussion will be facilitated by the Racial Justice Team.
Great, thanks, Bianca. Our second announcement during coffee hour, Earl, can you raise your hand? Earl Waters is going to be collecting signatures for the ballot initiative that would restore abortion rights to Floridians. So thank you. Yes.
Thanks, Earl.
If you want more information about that, you can see Earl, and I'm looking for members of the Bodily Autonomy team. There's April and Karen Cole as well. So see any members of the Bodily Autonomy team. Please read the rest of your announcements in your order of service, and we also have them in our weekly newsletter.
As Unitarian Universalists, we are people of diverse beliefs, but we share a common faith, a faith that every person is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, that we are connected to one another and to earth. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here.
Yes, thanks. And we want to give a special, wow, this is much more bass, this handheld. I suddenly sound bassy. We want to give a special welcome to newcomers. Can you bring down pulpit, for you it's pulpit right, just a tiny bit. I see a few newcomers here. Can you give a wave if you're new or you're relatively new? Hello, waving people. If you want, I can bring the microphone to you and you can introduce yourself. You don't have to.
No pressure.
Some people are like, I just waved, I didn't know I was committing to this. But you don't have to. But I happen to know Peter is willing to.
Hi, everybody. Whoa, oh my God. I'm Peter, my pronouns are they and he. It's really nice to be here. I came to the Cups Beltane celebration, and that was really nice, and that got me interested in the church, so here I am, yeah.
Welcome, Peter.
Hi, I'm Robbie. Me and my friend were out at the Pride family event yesterday, and y'all were out there, and we decided to come out and join
Hey, hi, Robbie.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Emily. My pronouns are she, her. Yeah, this is my first time at a Unitarian church. It is not new for Robbie, but it is new for me. So thank you so much for being so welcoming.
Welcome, Emily.
So glad you're here. Ooh, almost ran you over. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Sold.
Thank you for silencing your cell phones. Regarding masks, we encourage you to wear one as you are comfortable. Let's take a moment to greet our neighbors and remember to get consent if you're going to hug them or shake their hands. Hi, Ray. Okay, everyone, that was the fastest minute ever. Hello. Testing, testing. Thank you for being a friend. Travel around the world and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Thank you. All right. That was your one and only song from me today. Our chalice is a symbol of the spark of joy that is ignited within each of us when we connect. As you can see, that spark did not want to go out this morning. May we continue to be the joy and the light that this world needs. As Reverend Ben and Ray lights our chalice, please give voice to our shared connections by saying our covenant together. The words can be found in your program and online in the text chat. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn, Peace Like a River. A hymn, thank you for reminding me, it's hymn number 100 in the gray hymn book.
And we don't have a piano, so let's just start on a note, like la, like that note. And did you say that we're doing first three verses already?
First three verses.
First three voices?
Voices.
Was
also.
only doing the first three voices.
The voices.
I have glasses somewhere. Sorry. Good morning, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist. No, okay. La. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. Got joy like a fountain in my soul. Love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. Got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean.
I've got
Love like an ocean in my soul. We did it! You may be seated.
Yay. Good job, everyone.
I invite all the children to come forward for your time for all ages. Kiddos, come on forward. And I have my water somewhere. Oh, it's near the, hey, come on up. It's just like I rehearsed it, yeah. Hey guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Our chalice later, Ray. And we got, hey, Alex. You coming up, or you just encouraging him to come up? Thank goodness you're here.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Hello. You want to come up on the stairs? I have a question for you. What is joy? Joy. Yeah.
Happiness.
Happiness, yep. What else? What's joy?
Joy is like you're laughing and giggling and stuff.
Laughing and giggling stuff. Good, thanks, Alex. Yes, exactly. Is your hand up, or are you just leaning? You're leaning, okay. What are some times when it's hard to feel joyful? Yeah.
When you're going through like a talking fight.
A talking what?
A talking fight.
Oh, a talking fight. When you're going through a talking fight, it's
talking
hard
fight.
to feel joyful. What else is it hard to feel joyful? Yep.
It's hard to feel joyful when somebody do something mean to you.
Yeah, when somebody does something mean to you. So if someone's doing something mean to you, or if you're in the middle of a talking fight, how can we feel joy even when those things are happening? How can we experience joy even in the middle of hard things? Mama, that is a good answer.
Aw.
We can lean on our parents and our friends and those who bring us joy. And hopefully they're not the ones we're having the talking fight with.
Ah, yes.
How else can we feel joy when it's hard to feel joy? Adults have ideas? What do you got? Remember your love. What, Trish? Caitlin brings something to hug with her. That's smart. So even when you're feeling bad, you can hug those things, right, Caitlin? Do you want to introduce us to them?
I don't want my to know.
Okay, they've introduced themselves to us. Okay, so what are some ways other than hugging and screaming? What are some ways that you express joy? What are your favorite ways to express joy? Favorite way to express joy, honey? How do you?
I got one. I just got mama. My mama. My toys. My toys. I like my drum.
Very good. Yes.
That was a good list.
The toes express joy. What are some ways that your toes and your feet? She said toys. I also like toes, and she was wiggling the toes. Toys help you express joy. What are some ways you can express joy with your toes and your feet? What?
Running.
Running. That's one thing you can do with your feet and your toes. What else? Walking, yep. What else can you do with your feet and your toes to express joy? I'll give you a hint.
Like galloping and dancing.
Galloping, and I like that this was galloping. Yes, dancing. Thank you for, yeah.
Tap dancing.
Tap dancing,
Tap
yes.
dancing.
Now, okay, kids, what were you, I'm gonna, yeah.
I listen to happy music.
Listening to happy music. Do you ever dance to said happy music? Kids, do you think if we had a dance party right here in the church that we could get the adults to dance?
Oh.
Do you think? Yeah?
How about the adults dance?
Oh, how about the adults dance and you don't have to? How about any adult that wants to dance and any kid that wants to dance can dance if they choose? Where, yeah?
These shoes I wear in the socks.
Those are beautiful shoes. You wear the socks. Could you dance in those shoes and those socks? You could? Cheyenne, can you give us some dance music, please? See who will dance. Thank you for dancing, everybody. Thank you. We will now sing you out to your classes. Doom, 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 doo, 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 doo. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Our chalice lighter is the last to leave the stage.
Bye, Ray.
It's not a stage, what's it called? And a run. Now we come to the time in our worship for joys, sorrows, and concerns. And those of you on YouTube Live, I haven't forgot you. You are not here in person, but your presence is felt. So please submit your joys, your sorrows, your concerns in the text chat. During the week, many of you have written me with your joys, your sorrows, and I got one here. Do you have any over there?
I have two.
You have two? Okay, that works.
Cool.
And Patty Kane Wood will place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week and today.
Hey, Patty. Okay, first, a stone of sorrow from Bill Motter, who will be moving out of St. Petersburg soon.
Yep.
But a stone of joy for Bill, since he's moving on a new adventure to South Carolina. And another stone of joy that John Motter and Ruth Bentley will remain in St. Petersburg, giving Bill lots of reasons to come and visit.
Blessings on your new adventure, Bill, and I'm glad you're coming back. A stone of joy from Rob Sanborn. Rob and his husband were married 19 years ago this week. They got married in the UUA Elliott Chapel in Boston. Happy anniversary to you both.
Yeah. A stone of joy from Ruth Bentley. She says, joy and gratitude for the wonderful 90th birthday celebration with my family and UU St. Pete friends. I was so moved by how many came out to celebrate, as I was also moved by the cards and gifts. You're welcome, Ruth.
Happy birthday, Ruth.
Happy birthday.
A stone of sorrow and concern from Deb Carlson. Deb says, my son, diagnosed with schizophrenia, after several years of stability with use of medication, decided to go off meds. Over the past 4 months, his symptoms have been increasing and ability to manage lessening. He is unable to understand why to seek help and beginning to express anger regarding our concern as his family. As a mother, Deb says, I experience grief and deep sadness and find hope difficult regarding this awful mind disease.
We have a stone of joy from Art. He says, on Thursday, my Burundi son, Alois, who is a refugee from Africa, received his Canadian citizenship. He will be able to fly here next month.
Yes. Another stone of joy from Christine, and I didn't see, she came up, but I don't see where she is. Yay. Christine says, I am joyful that my son Daniel did beautifully with his cardiac surgery. Very excited for that too, Christine.
A stone of joy from Danny for the journey to self-love and acceptance.
A stone of sorrow from Sandy Weeks for her brother who is having major health issues. And also a stone of joy for the UU Church of St. Pete being a beacon of hope and concern for all of us. So this is the third stone of concern. For all of us still living in the land of anti-woke.
I have a stone of joy and sorrow for myself, Patty. Joy, I got a puppy. He's so cute. Sorrow for my furniture and patience.
May we bring our mind and hold close to our hearts Bill and the Motter family, Rob Sanborn, Ruth Bentley, Deb Carlson and her son, Sandy Weeks' brother, Christine's son Daniel, everyone known and unknown who are facing any kind of challenge, any kind of health concerns.
May our hearts not become callous by the never-ending incidences of oppression and hatred that so many face each day. Rather, may we keep our hearts open to positive efforts of so many people causing good trouble in the world. May we have the strength to demand and gain the right for all people to have a safe place to sleep, health care to keep them strong, and knowledge that they matter. The struggle is taking longer than we thought it should, but we'll get there if we continue to fight, knowing what we all know is right.
Yes, we will. May all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community. And Patty, if you would place a final stone for those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, perhaps too tender yet to be spoken aloud. And let's take about a minute of silence together. The mystery is that we are connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in our beloved community that makes of the many one. So may it be. Those of you who are new, we tend to sing hymn number 123 at this point in your gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. Start on this note. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. I want to invite Dick McRobert to come up, play drums. Dick will be accompanying our singer of the anthem, Ben Atherton-Zeman. Oh, me. Okay. Can't wait for you to come back, John and James. It is a song that I really love. It's by Holly Near. It's called Planet Called Home, and maybe some of you have heard it and can sing along with me.
Okay. He's a very brave man. I'll try and help him.
All right.
Okay.
Can you call on your imagination as if telling a myth to a child? Put in the fantastical, wonderful, magical as a power so great that no one could know its name. People try to claim it and rule with it, always such arrogance ended in shame. Thousands of years would pass in a moment, hundreds of cultures would come and go, each generation with a glorious calling, even when they were too busy to know. Then one day after 2 millennia, which after all is a small part of time, hundreds of souls found their way out of nowhere to be on earth at the threat of decline. Let's all go, they moved as one being, even though each would arrive here alone. They promised to work in grace with each other to brave the beautiful planet called home. There was no promise that they could save it, but how exciting to give it a try. If each did 1 or 2 actions, beautifully complex life on Earth might not die. So they arrived in a spectrum of colors. The population on Earth did explode. Some threw themselves in front of disaster, others slowly carried their load. Some adopted unwanted children, some lived high in the branches of trees. Some died as martyrs, some lived as healers, some bravely walked with a dreadful disease. They mingled among each class and each culture, none of them could be identified, but together they altered just enough moments to help the lost and the terrified, to step outside of our egos and our bodies, to know for once that we truly are one. Then quickly we would forget to remember, but that's okay, their job was well done. And Earth went on for another millennium, and now it's time for 'em all to wake up and pretend to be fabulous creatures sent from the power, souls that have come with a purpose in mind, to do one little thing that will alter the outcome, and many together we can do it in time. Can you call on your imagination as if telling a myth to a child? Put the fantastical, wonderful, magical, add the romantic, the brave, and the wild. Thank you. Thank you, Dick McRobert. That's one of my favorite songs by Holly Near. You can find it on YouTube. There's a version on YouTube where she sings it in 2003, and it's at a conference. Holly Near introduces the song by telling a story about a cellist in Sarajevo, 2003. So this cellist went out into the square when the bombs were dropping, started playing his cello. Someone from the press approached him and asked him, "Why are you out here playing the cello while the bombs are dropping?" He answered, "Why are they dropping bombs when I'm playing the cello?" And Holly Near says, "We need our creativity now more than ever." And then she begins singing. It's been 20 years since then. Abortion rights have been taken away. We can't teach African American history in schools. James and John's Pride celebration in North Carolina was picketed by homophobic and transphobic Christians. Trans people in Florida are afraid to be who they are, for fear of being labeled child abusers and having their child taken from them simply because they are trans. I dare say we need our creativity more now, more than ever. The title of today's worship service, once again, is Finding Joy, Awe, and Delight. And the verb is finding, and that tells us we have to sometimes make some effort to do it, as the children did when I was asking them, how do you find joy when things are hard? The verb finding also tells us maybe it might be an adventure, like finding Nemo. How do I find joy? I didn't sleep well last night, so I was reluctant to do my morning spiritual practice, which some of you know involves walking to the water at the little beach in our apartment complex and putting my feet in the water. I really didn't feel like doing it. But I was like, oh, it's good for me. I should do it. So I dragged myself out of my apartment. I walked across the parking lot to the beach. Boy, did I find joy. Boy, did I find awe and delight. There had been a bonfire the night before, so these like smoldering coals that I got to walk by. So I had the four sacred things, basically. I had fire, I had earth, I had water, I had air. Pat was there. Pat, are you here? Pat, yeah. Pat, I saw you, and I saw your cute dog, Frankie. I don't think you saw me, but I saw you. I walked towards the water, and I heard poof, like a poof. Anyone guess? It was a dolphin. Yeah, I heard it before I saw it. I heard poof, and then there's two dolphins. Right? And there were these clouds, the gorgeous clouds, the birds flying by. I want to hear how you find joy, where you find joy. But first, I want to ask you, how many of you know who Norb Chopik was? Norbert Chopik, raise your hand. Really? Oh. I have these notes of like, surely they'll get this and that, but then if they don't get this. So Norb Chopik, I will tell you, he's the founder of the Flower Communion. The Flower Communion, those of you who are new, is something we do here once a year and is common throughout Unitarian Universalism. The Flower Communion has us bringing flowers in from our homes or from wherever we are, put them in big vases in the front, and then we leave taking flowers that we have not brought. This was started by Norb Chopik in 1923. This year is the 100th anniversary of the Flower Communion. Norb Chopik is the founder of Unitaria. Those of you who've been to Prague, it's the big Prague Unitarian church. At one time, it was the largest Unitarian church in the world. He was imprisoned and executed by the Nazis in 1942. He is the author of the most delightful and positive children's books I've ever read that are used in our religious education sometimes. And he is the author of no fewer than 90 hymns. So across the Unitarian Universalist Association, we're taking note of the gifts that this Flower Communion has brought us through this century, noting that it has helped us find awe, find joy, and find delight. Now, in 1939, as Germany began to invade Czechoslovakia, Chopik published a book, quote, "at a time of great sadness for my nation, with hopes that the book might spread, quote, a few rays of sun to the wounds of the heart." The book's essential message was people can choose their own moods and direct their own feelings, and that they should, above all, try everything with humor. According to Chopik, religion should provide that, quote, inner harmony, which is the precondition of strong character, good health, joyful moods, and victorious creative life. The UU History and Heritage Society tells us that Chopik's faith and works sustained thousands of his compatriots during the darkness of Nazi occupation and enabled him to endure his own martyrdom with an equanimity and heroism that was confirmed by survivors of the concentration camp in Dachau who knew him there. Now, such joy and such awe and such delight in the face of this grim situation of the Nazi occupation. That might seem strange to anyone who has never known any Czechs. But those of you who have had Czechs or Slovaks in your life, like me, it seems less strange. My experience of the Czech people, as seen mostly through the lens of my Czech stepfather, Otto, tells me this finding of joy in the midst of darkness is fairly typical. Now, Otto was in my life from the time I was a toddler until almost 30 years ago, when unfortunately he took his own life. And near the end of his life, he struggled with depression. He felt like a failure as a man, as a provider, as a husband, and as a father. And no convincing that my mom and I, we couldn't convince him otherwise. Nothing we said to the contrary convinced him otherwise. Yet, despite his depression, my father filled my life and my mom's life with joy, with awe, with delight. Long before there were television remotes, on a black and white TV, when advertisements would come up trying to sell us something, we were usually lying down and the TV was on the floor, so we'd scoot our feet up to the TV, take off our shoes, and put our socks and our smelly feet underneath the noses of the characters of the people that... Yesterday was Otto's birthday. He would have been 87. And his legacy, like Chopek's, reminds me to find joy and awe and delight, even when it takes some work. Now, April and I spent yesterday morning escorting patients at the Bread and Roses abortion clinic. And then Ariana and Christine and many of you, spent the afternoon at St. Pete Pride Family Day, where we met the two of you. Now, abortion escort work on the surface seems pretty grim. We're helping people get from their cars to the front door of the clinic, past a gauntlet of anti-choice protesters, and they yell at them and they call them sinners and call them baby killers, tell them they're going to hell, and they also yell at us, calling us those things. Those of you who know April here probably know she sings in our choir. Maybe you know she used to sing in the UU Clearwater choir. It was her first day escorting yesterday. Now, I wasn't sure how she'd handled it. So we had about 18 or 20 appointments. One of the first appointments came in the car. I greeted them. We have these colorful umbrellas that we opened to kind of be a barrier so they don't have to see all these horrible signs that the folks hold up. So I greeted this young woman. I explained I was there to escort her to the door. I said she might get yelled at, but there are many of us here to support her. And as we got closer to the doors of the clinic and the shouts became louder and louder, I also heard singing. It was April and some other folks. I couldn't make out what the song was till I got closer, and then I heard, "We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine." It didn't quite drown out the yells, but it made this joyful counterpoint to it, and it was enough of a distraction. Hot dog? It was like the Armour hot dog commercial song. Does anyone know this? I didn't know this. Yeah? I didn't know this, but they... Reverend Amy, those of you know from UU Clearwater, she knew it. Was it, "What kinds of kids?" No, I know the Osquire Wiener song, but not the Armour hot dogs. This one's, "What kinds of kids eat Armour hot dogs?" No, that's the Holly Nears tune. Fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks. There we go. Tough kids, friendly kids, even kids with chicken pox love hot dogs. Armour hot dogs. The dogs kids love to bite. Very good, thank you. I mean, what kind of person thinks of this while being yelled at that you're going to hell? April Cook, that's who. Our very own April Cook. That's who. And Norbert Chopek, and Holly Neer, and the cellist in Sarajevo, and my dad, finding joy, awe, and delight. Then at St. Pete Pride Family Day, it felt like it was like this big fence, and so it was kind of like this oasis of joy and awe and delight in the midst of everything else that's going on in Florida. We had sort of this protected North Stroud Park, and there were so many colors and so many booths and so many groups. It was very hot, but it was so much energy, all to support the LGBTQIA+ community. And so many children stopping by our booth. Ariana, Christine, and our friends at UU Clearwater set up these craft projects with ribbons and streamers, and there was almost a constant presence of kids at that booth. And some of you might have seen photos, some of you were there. And at one point, a family, I don't think it was you two, but it was a family of 6 kids. Is that you, 6 kids? No, okay, not you. I mean, that's a lot, and we had a small booth. So they kind of took over the table. All the kids were working at their crafts, except for, I think, the youngest brother, because there wasn't room at the table. So Amy and Ariana were working with the kids at the table, and I sort of went back to this other boy. He was behind them in a small wheelchair. He was maybe 3 or 4 years old. And I grabbed some of the ribbons, and I brought them over, and I kind of checked in with the dad. Is this okay? Yes, this is okay. And I knelt down with these ribbons, and this is like the paper that's like this thick of ribbons, like streamers, and it's kind of ribbed. It's kind of got this interesting feel to it. And I knelt down beside him, and we made eye contact right away. And he was just kind of like checking me out, and I just held the ribbon, like, do you want it, do you not? And he reached out and he touched the ribbon, and then he was like fiddling with it, because it's this neat texture. He was touching the ribbon, so I touched the ribbon, and he grabs a little and he tears it off. Puts it here, and he grabs some more ribbon, tears it off, and he starts to smile. And the more ribbon he gets, and he's like still touching it with his hand, tears more and more of it off till it's this bright colored, precious bundle of tactile joy. We did this together for a couple of minutes. The smile got bigger, held the eye contact with me the whole time. And he had tiny little hands. He balled up this paper in his tiny little hands. And he found there was this slot in his wheelchair, this like little hole in between the things, and he just jammed it in to that slot. Save it for later. I mean, I'm imagining him this morning. Maybe he's finding that paper in the little space. Maybe he's remembering our booth, remembering Pride Day, remembering joy, maybe even remembering, in some way, our church community and the love, the joy, and the delight that we brought to one another. What treasures have you tucked away somewhere in some corner to bring out? How do you find joy? How do you find awe? How do you find delight? I want to hear it. And YouTube, please put it in the text chat. How do you find joy? How do you find awe? How do you find delight? Trish? My garden. Yeah. Joe? Gratefulness and victory. Yes, Andy. Music. Gordia. Writing. Yeah. Bike riding. Yes. Yeah, Pat. Being in nature. Yeah. Our bunnies, yes. Yeah. Creme brulee. Yeah, Dana. What's that? Sharing a meal with friends, yep. Yeah, you. Doing what's healthy for me, even when it's hard, like me this morning, dragging yourself to your healthy thing, yeah. Helping others, yeah, Deb. Having someone to laugh with, Basha. Grandchildren. Yeah, Ruth. Waking up in the morning, seeing my little dog, yes. I'm going to leave you with the words of Norbert Chopek, and I hope that his words and mine help you find joy, help you to live and fight courageously for sacred ideals. Oh, blow ye evil winds into my body's fire. My soul you'll never unravel. Even though disappointed 1,000 times or fallen in the fight, and everything would worthless seem, I have lived amidst eternity. Be grateful, my soul, he says. My life was worth living. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
Thanks, Reverend Ben. It's often is as follows. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. The joy of giving only happens when a person is full of gratitude for himself and is ready to come out of his comfort zone to make a difference in another person's life. In the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
Thank you so much. Please rise as you're willing and able for our closing hymn, number 29 in the gray hymnal. It's Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Let's sing the first verse in its original German, shall we? Freude, schöne Güter. Nobody? Okay. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, God of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, hail thee as the sun above. Melt the clouds of sin and sadness, drive the pain of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the joy of day. More? All thy works with joy surround thee. Earth and heaven reflect thy rays. Stars and planets sing around thee, center of unbroken praise. Fields and forest, vale and mountain, blossoming meadow, flashing sea, chanting bird and flowering fountain, call us to rejoice in thee. More? Thou art giving and forgiving, ever blessing, ever blessed, wellspring of the joy of living, ocean depth of happy rest. Ever singing, march we onward, in the midst of strife. Joyful music lifts us sunward, in the triumph song at light. Well done. You may be seated.
Good job, everyone.
You may be seated. Now, our postlude isn't in our order of service, but I'll tell you what it is. It's Lovely Day by Bill Withers. But first, Bianca will give us our closing words.
Yes, I will, as soon as I find them. Okay.
I have them.
Oh, no, I'm good. Oh, that can't be right. Hold on, there we go. Nope, that's not right either. Hold on, just I think you missed the part. Yes.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone.
First, let's extinguish the chalice.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute.
Is that my line too? Okay. It's just like we planned it. Now we invite you to remain standing. No, you can keep seated. As Bianca extinguishes our chalice, if you don't mind. The words to our traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service. Online, they're in the text chat. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. You may be seated.
And now I will deliver the closing words. Please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore Hall. Ben and I will be doing a receiving line today. We will begin Article 2 Talk Back right here in the sanctuary in a few minutes. I'm going to give you a quote from Marie Kondo. Some of you may be familiar with her. She's the best. Joy is personal, so everyone will experience it differently. A little thrill as the cells of your bodies are slowly rising. Through this process of selecting only those things that inspire joy, you can identify precisely what you love and what you need. Ting! And so now we're going to have a little postlude, which can also be a dance party if you'd like. And that is it. Bye, everyone.